Asadi Gaura Bhakti. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 8, Text 32. Ato nivartatam esha
अतो निवर्तताम् एषा
nirbandhastava nishpalaha
निर्बन्धस्तव निष्फलः
yatishyati bhavan kale
यतिष्यति भवान् काले
shreyasham samupasthite.
श्रेयस्करं समुपस्थिते।
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. For this reason, my dear boy, you should not endeavor for this. It will not be successful. It is better that you go home. When you're grown up, by the mercy of the Lord, you will get a chance for these mystic performances. At that time, you may execute this function. So Narad Muni is telling, yesterday we heard Dhruv. He was telling Dhruv that, you're trying to do this process of meditation. I'm sorry, there are yogis who have done it for many, many births, and yet they did not get the perfection of seeing the Lord. So, and you're just a small boy, so don't waste your time now, doing this. Generally, a thoroughly trained person takes to spiritual perfection at the end of his life. According to the Vedic system, therefore, life is divided into 4 stages. In the beginning, one becomes a brahmachari, a student who studies Vedic knowledge under the authoritative guidance of a spiritual master. So this is the brahmachari, the student life. In Vedic society, it was like that. Brahmachari, and then grihast becomes a householder, executes household duties according to the Vedic process. Then the householder becomes a vanaprast. So the householder lives also in such a way that it's easy for him to take up vanaprast. And so vanaprast, before vanaprast actually means going to the forest. Now in Kali Yuga, it's not practical for us to go to the forest, nor is it advised. Our vanaprast is taking up more Krishna consciousness activities more and more. So, and then gradually when he's mature, he renounces household life and vanaprastha also and takes to sannyas, completely devoting himself to devotional service. Generally, people think that childhood is meant for enjoying life by engaging oneself in sports and play. Youth is meant for enjoying the company of young girls. And when one becomes old at the time of death, he may try to execute devotional service or a mystic yoga process. So this is usually that what we see, that when we are children, all our time is in playing, enjoying life. That's what the thing is, or you just play. And then you get married, and then, okay, you take up devotional service when you're almost gonna die. But this conclusion is not for devotees who are actually serious. The great sage Narad is instructing Dhruv Maharaj just to test him. Now, why is Narad Muni telling Dhruva that, oh, you go home, It takes births and births, and you're just a young boy. He wants to see how determined is Dhruv. He's testing him. Just the spiritual master tests the disciple, just as the disciple tests the spiritual master. It's both ways. Actually, the direct order is that from any point of life, one should begin rendering devotional service. Now, we don't have to wait till we become really old. In fact, what happens is when you're really old, the body may become really so diseased that there is no possibility of engaging in devotional service. So, at any point of time, devotional service can be begun. But it is the duty of the spiritual master to test the disciple to see how seriously he desires to execute devotional service. Then he may be initiated. So, yeah, this is the responsibility of the spiritual master to see, is this disciple, is this devotee really interested in spiritual life? Prahlad Maharaj also tells his friends, he says that we think that we are children and so we spoil our lives and play, but no, his life is given for devotional service to the Lord. He was only 5 years old and he would preach to his friends like that. He says that, oh, so much time of the life goes in play and then in study and then sleep and so barely, if you see in a person's life, there's barely any time for devotional service. So we should try to hear and chant regularly, regularly. Did anyone have any questions or comments? Yes, yeah, yeah,
So that is
Deva.
the
Yes,
so that
yes,
is the duty of the guru, right? What Narad Muni is doing is to test.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Yasya yadeva vihitam satena sukha dukkhayoho. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yasya deva vihitam sa tena sukh dukhayo
Atmanam toshayan dehi
atma
Atmanam toshayeti
tamasa param richate.
tamasparam shati.
One should try to keep himself satisfied in any condition of life, whether distress or happiness, which is offered by the Supreme Will. A person who endures in this way is able to cross over the darkness of nations very easily. So in happiness, distress, both come, and it's coming by the will of the Lord. So depending on the Lord in every situation, and in this way, one can easily get liberation. It's not easy though. When distress comes or happiness comes, it may not be easy for a person to accept that condition or that situation. But that's what is said. That's what we are. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying that. Brahmaji is saying that later in 10th canto. And Narad Muni is saying the same thing. Material existence consists of pious and impious fruitive activities. As long as one is engaged in any kind of activity other than devotional service, it will result in the happiness and distress of this material world. So if we do pious activities, we are going to get happiness. If we do impious activities, we are going to get suffering. And we tend to do both of these. And so that's the reason we get the suffering and the happiness. It's only devotional service that does not give any material result. It's all spiritual results and helps us to get out of this material world. When we enjoy life, in so-called material happiness, it is to be understood that we are diminishing the resultant actions of our pious activities. Ah, so another way of looking at it is if we are getting a lot of enjoyment, material enjoyment means whatever punya karma we have done, those are we are spending that, it's like a currency we get. It's like it's that we have a stock of pious activities, and because of that, we are due to enjoy so much. And so then the more we are enjoying, that stock is reducing and reducing. Similarly, the same thing applies when we are put into suffering. It is to be understood that we are diminishing the resultant actions of our impious activities. Means our bad karma, that's also it's reducing, it's reducing. Instead of being attached to the circumstantial happiness and distress resulting from pious or impious activities, if we want to get out of the clutches of these nations, then whatever position we are put in by the will of the Lord, we should accept it. So this acceptance is what is needed, to accept any circumstance as the mercy of the Lord. Thus, if we simply surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we shall get out of the clutches of this material existence. Surrender to the Supreme Lord, understanding Krishna is my best friend. Whatever situation he's putting me in is for my good. I may not be able to understand why is it good or how is it good. To me, it appears really horrible. But Krishna knows he is my best friend. Understanding that, if we can just tolerate that situation somehow or the other, which may really be intolerable, continuing at the same time with the devotional service. That's what Brahmaji says. Then liberation becomes rightful claim. That's what Prabhupada is saying, the same thing here. Narad Muni is saying the same thing. So when the suffering comes, if we say I would have suffered much more, it is Krishna's kindness that he is reducing my suffering. When the happiness comes, we say, oh, I don't deserve this happiness. But it is mercy of Krishna, I'm able to experience it. What we do is the opposite. We say, oh, suffering, Krishna, why are you giving me suffering? I deserve more happiness. And when the happiness comes, we are like, oh, it's all because of me. But we have to change that. We need to change and accept, understand that both suffering and happiness are mercy of Krishna. How is the suffering mercy of Krishna? I would have suffered much more. He's giving me less suffering. He's my best friend. Happiness? Oh, I don't deserve this happiness, but Krishna is my best friend. He's giving me this encouragement. And in this way, just having this attitude can help give us liberation, can get us out of this material world. Hmm. Did anyone want to discuss about this or add anything to it?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Actually, I was asking before, but you started. I want to know, like, Dhruv Maharaj have no guru or spiritual master. He had no spiritual master, right? So, we read, like, we need some spiritual master to guide ourselves to reach Krishna, bhakti or love. So, it's something like he just surrendered to God without any medium, because his mother said, like, only uh, Supreme God can help you, and when he will be happy, then only you can you can get the love of your father, right? So here my question is, like, without any guru, without any spiritual master, he was doing his prayer to want Krishna's love, to need. He didn't have any guru. So is it contradictory, or like, with we are reading and
So as we read, I think yesterday or day before, that Krishna, when he sees the desire, sincere desire in the heart of any living entity, Krishna is the Paramatma in our heart. So he knows our desire. When he sees that any living entity has a desire to get to know him, to come to him, to understand the truth, Krishna makes arrangement to send the spiritual master. That's the reason Narad Muni has come to Dhruv Maharaj. Narad Muni is Dhruv's spiritual master. Right now he's testing.
or his mother, maybe.
His mother is the one who guided him. She is the first lady, she's the Shiksha Guru. No? She told him that you uh, please the Supreme Lord. So the mother is also the Guru. And taking the instruction of the mother, he's going now to please the Lord. And so now he needs a spiritual master. And Krishna from within the heart understood this. And that's the reason he has sent Narad Muni. And then Narad Muni now is going to initiate Dhruv into chanting the mantra.
Yes. Yes.
So
Like we need
it's
only
true what
guru,
you're
right?
saying. It's true what you're saying that we need a guru. And Krishna arranges this. He is in the heart. He is the Paramatma. He understands when we really are sincere to really take up devotional service. He arranges for the guru to come.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Like guidance is also a type, like is guru, right? Right.
Yes, we are all hearing from Srila Prabhupada. He's our spiritual master. He's the preeminent Shiksha Guru. We are studying his books. He's guiding us. He's telling us. Yes, so the guidance we are getting.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You know, like we may go somewhere. Like Prabhupada said, that his friend took him to meet his spiritual master. His friend told him, there's a saintly man. Come, let's go meet him. And so Prabhupada met. And that's how he met his guru. Of course, his friend never became a devotee. I mean, he didn't get initiated from that guru, but Srila Prabhupada did. So it happens many times. Krishna makes the arrangements. He sees.
Yeah. So here you are our guru. You are guiding
I'm
us.
not guru. Srila Prabhupada is the guru. We are hearing from Srila
Like
Prabhupada's books.
just
We are
giving us the
studying.
way, like how to do. Yeah.
So yeah, we are guiding each other, you know. We are,
Yes.
and we are taking instructions from Srila Prabhupada. And of course, you know, we do need a living guru to connect us to Srila Prabhupada.
Yes.
You know, like how there are so many initiating gurus in ISKCON. So we need their help to connect us to Srila Prabhupada. But yes, by reading Srila Prabhupada's books, we are getting connected to him. We're taking instructions from him. Yes.
Yes. Yes. True. Yes. I got it. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Gunadikan mudam lipset.
Gunadika mudam
Lipse.
Anukrosham gunadhama.
anukrosham
Anukrosham gunadhamat.
Maitrim sammanat anvichen.
Maitrim
maitri
samanat anviche.
sammanat
Na taper abhibhuyate.
Na
nata
tape abhibhuyate.
Every man should act like this. When he meets a person more qualified than himself, he should be very pleased. When he meets someone less qualified than himself, he should be compassionate toward him. And when he meets someone equal to himself, he should make friendship with him. In this way, one is never affected by the threefold miseries of this material world. So Narad Muni is saying, how should we deal with people to not become affected by the miseries? That when we are meeting someone more qualified, we should be happy that I can learn from this person. I'm so fortunate to get the association of this person. When we are meeting someone who's less qualified than us, we should be merciful towards them, be compassionate, tell them about Krishna. And when there is an equal, then be friends, like-minded, be friends with them. Generally, when we find someone more qualified than ourselves, we become envious of him. You know, that's what we do. We do the opposite. Instead of being pleased when we meet someone more qualified, we become envious. And when we find someone less qualified, we deride him. So instead of being merciful and compassionate on someone who's less qualified, we find fault in them, you know, think we are better than them. And when we find someone equal, we become proud of our activities. These are the causes of all material tribulations. So these things, they make us miserable because we are doing exactly the opposite than what we should be doing. The great sage Narad therefore advised that a devotee should act perfectly. Instead of being envious of a more qualified man, one should be jolly to receive him. So someone may be better than us in some particular thing. Our first instinct, our general tendency is we become envious. We don't like that person. But instead, we should change that and be happy, be pleased to receive them. And someone who, we may be better than others in certain things, then we tend to tell that person, oh, you're not good enough or something. Instead of doing that, should um, share our knowledge with them, whatever it is. We should be compassionate.
I just have a question.
Yes.
So you're right that we should be doing that. But what if the other person is behaving in an opposite way? Like we are trying to be compassionate or we are trying to be friendly, but then the person is being proud, the other person I'm talking about.
Then stay away.
When we find somebody who's equal to us, we are trying to be friendly. And if we find somebody lower than us, we are trying to be compassionate. And if we find somebody who's higher than us, we are trying to be, to learn from him and give him respect and learn and accept his knowledge. But then that person is behaving totally opposite, like as you said, that they are trying to be proud and they are trying to pull us down. And so then what should we be doing in that condition?
We just accept it and we move on.
Like as you said, that the miseries, so then it's okay.
Yeah.
This is the
Then
way,
we just
right?
accept. Yeah.
Okay.
That at least we did our part, and then just accept the situation and move on. Not easy. Not easy.
Easy because that time you are trying to be and then you see that the other person is doing totally like as you mentioned, that is what is happening right now.
So,
We try to be, but
maybe our past karma, maybe we did the same with her or him.
That's what I was going to say also.
that is
Yeah.
It could be, yes.
That is
Maybe
Yeah.
because the same question arises in my mind so many times. I'm doing
Yeah.
good, but why I'm getting bad?
So
So
maybe I
maybe
must
it's
have been,
related
yeah,
with our karma.
not
That,
talking
correct.
about
Yeah.
bad. I'm not talking about good or bad here. I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah. What I mean, like
Then we
that
just
I'm
accept it. Yeah, we accept
compassion.
it as
Accept
the
it, yeah.
situation, as we read in the previous verse, accept the situation as the will of the Lord
Yeah.
and
Okay. Mercy of
as the mercy of the Lord.
Hare Krishna. So we, when we feel hurt, it's actually we are again getting attached to ourselves, attached to our body. That mind is playing there again, So we have
Yeah.
to, like you said, like just accept it is better.
Yes.
Don't
And
think
but
too
of
much.
course, yeah, the hurt will happen. It's, we are individuals after all. So we also have to accept, yes, we are hurt. Because then otherwise we are going to like emotionally freeze ourselves. We can't
Yes,
do that
sure.
either,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because I
We
mean,
have to
we do
accept,
get hurt.
and if we can, we have to accept it, and if we can, we should also let the other person know. We should try and let the other person know. If we think that no, that won't really, help or change, we should just accept it and
Yes,
keep
yes,
chanting. Yeah.
yes, yes. It's true. And let the other person know in a very non uh violent manner. Because what a tendency happens is when we are hurt, we tend to communicate that hurt in a hurtful way sometimes. So if we are communicating the hurt to someone, we should try to do it in a non-violent manner. And then, yes. Um, and then I just accept it. But accept the hurt. Accept the hurt. And accept it as the will of the Lord. Then we will be able to heal.
But then
Otherwise,
we should accept, sorry, but then we should accept it as a truth, not to, tell ourselves, no, I'm not hurt, it's okay, no. But we
Exactly.
need to accept that. I remember you telling me that you need to accept your emotions, whatever it is. If you are running away and if you're falsely trying to overdo it, then that is not good. You need to accept whatever you are feeling, and you need to then pray to Krishna about it. You need to first accept it, right? Your emotions, whatever you're going through.
Yes.
Yes, we get hurt, and we get hurt. So then we need to accept it that I am hurt, Krishna. But I know that it's your mercy.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. So there's just this last two lines. You want me to read it or just stop here? I'm not sure.
I think we can read
We
it.
can read it,
Just this.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and when one meets an equal, instead of being proud of one's own activities before him, one should treat him as a friend. So when we are meeting someone equal, we tend to become proud, but we should instead have friendly relations. One should also have compassion for the people in general who are suffering due to forgetfulness of Krishna. So we may not have the compassion. We may say, I don't have the compassion, but we can be an instrument of Srila Prabhupada's compassion. Srila Prabhupada took so much effort to give Krishna consciousness to us and to everyone. So we can be an instrument of Srila Prabhupada's compassion who are suffering due to forgetfulness of Krishna. These important functions will make one happy within this material world. So if we try to follow these instructions, then we ourselves will be peaceful and we will be happy here. So let's try to follow it. And we can encourage each other to do it because it's not easy, but not impossible. Thank you so much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol.